Hi, my name is Kimberly MacLean, and I am the consultant for the 2022 Equity Project at Sisters in Crime. And I want to talk to you about fixed mindset and growth mindset. So, when I talk about fixed mindset or growth mindset, these are two different ways of being. As you can see here in this picture, most of us have a little bit of both of these, and we can choose and literally train our brains to embrace more of growth mindset. So when we think about this in terms of diversity, equity, inclusion specifically, sometimes some of us might feel a little bit out of control. We might feel like we need to get to the work, do the work, do the work. We're not interested in the process because the process forces us to be in a place where we don't have control. It forces us to look at who we are as individuals. It forces us to take critique. So when we're in a fixed mindset dealing with diversity, equity, inclusion, we can start to feel blame, judgment, and guilt are how we get things done. We're really focused on the negative. And not only are we targeting other people to blame, to judge, and to make them feel bad and guilty about themselves, we may also be making ourselves feel blamed, feel judged, feel guilt. We believe that there's only one way to do things. Everything is binary. Yes, no, right, wrong, good, bad, pass, fail. We believe that hierarchical divisions are familiar. They're safe. We understand them. I need one person in power, and that person needs to be very much like me. It can be pretty rigid. And the bad news, and I think all of us have experienced this, I know I certainly have, is that when I'm in a fixed mindset, nothing is ever good enough. And I can vacillate like most of us between being fixed mindset and growth mindset. Sometimes I might even start in a fixed mindset and feel like something's not working, or I don't have control of it, or this isn't working like I want. And then I have to do the work to get to a growth mindset. Um, a lot of us are just stuck in old neural pathways. And when I think about a neural pathway, I want you to think about like a superhighway. So if we have a neural pathway that we've had for years that tell us like, avoid vulnerability, just be part of the outcome, don't worry about the process. So my way is the only way. Those are like a superhighway that's been cleared. There's no traffic. We hop on the on-ramp and we go easily on those. When we start asking ourselves to switch to a growth mindset, it's like we're choosing not to take the superhighway, easy, familiar route. And instead, we are having to cut a pathway through a jungle, right? We have our machete, we're cutting through the jungle. It's hard terrain, it's rough terrain. We start thinking about that superhighway that we could be on instead. But the great news is that as you continue to forge that pathway through the jungle, you will eventually create a new superhighway that is healing, that is healthier, that believes that everything and everyone is capable of change, where you start to see your own vulnerability as a superpower. You prioritize authentic emotion. You understand that sharing power is something you can do freely and willingly. In a growth mindset, we're really steeped in curiosity. We want to understand. We want to be in sympathy and empathy. We don't believe our way is the only way. We understand that a lot of us walk around in our lives and we only know our own way of being. And it's sometimes hard to understand and forgive and be curious. So we want to believe people. We want to hear stories. We want to be held accountable for our mistakes. We want to own our mistakes because by owning them, we get to learn and we get to do better. We like to give and get feedback. And when I say feedback, I want to remind us that feedback doesn't mean critical information. It can also be positive. I can tell you how great you're doing, how much I appreciate something you said or did, how beautiful the language is in the story you just wrote. I can also tell you like, hey, I wonder why this happened, or, oh, this thing made me uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable when this happened. We can have those conversations more freely because they aren't about guilt and blame. They're about understanding and growth. So there's a really beautiful opportunity for all of us to be in growth mindset at Sisters in Crime. Not only will it help you be a better creator and creative, it will help you be a better human being. It will help you connect. It will help you connect with people. It will help you forge better, stronger relationships. There is nothing bad that happens by moving yourself into growth mindset. So I encourage you to think about the ways that you might be stuck in a fixed mindset because you're a normal, average, regular old human being. And then the ways that it feels when you are in growth mindset, and start to make intentional choices to be in growth mindset. I know this is a lot of information. If you're curious to learn more, you can watch the video that is the introduction to the equity project, and we do some exercises and get much more deeply into the idea of fixed and growth mindset. You can also watch the TED Talk by Carole Dweck, who is the person that forged this idea and has done a lot of research at Stanford around fixed and growth mindset. And then, of course, there are other resources where you can understand the neuroscience of learning and how we can begin to grow and change our minds. Thank you so much for listening.